So what's the latest on 5-star Caleb Holt? Is he a, cue the meme, Wildcat or not?
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats podcast, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by our friends over at Circle K. It is the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am Damon Fairall. He is Kevin Thomas, and we are a bit late here. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. 2:03, whatever. You guys stuck it out, and we appreciate it. And Kevin, we got a lot to talk about today. Caleb Holt, 5-star, potentially could be maybe showing that Arizona is at the top of his list when you break down what he is looking for in a particular team. We're going to be discussing that, talking about Arizona's win last night, of course, over Bethune-Cookman, and giving a little bit of our Christmas wish list from Arizona Athletics to round out the show. What are we looking for under our Christmas tree when we, in just a mere couple of days here, Kevin, on Christmas morning? But first off, how are we doing? How are we living? And how are we feeling after, a win last night and our last show before Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here, Kevin?
You know, feeling good is the holiday season officially. It is the most wonderful time of the year, is what they usually say during that jingle. And I'm feeling that way today, Damon. Had some cookies for everybody here in the office, trying to get everybody in the holiday vibe. So I'm very happy that it is nearly Christmas Eve, Caleb Madness tonight for the real sickos that just cannot get enough of Arizona athletics right before the holidays. Trying to get away from your family at night? Caleb Madness. During the day, AZ Wildcats podcast. So stick around. We have a packed show for you today. Also, Tommy Lloyd had some things to say at his presser last night that I wanted to go over halfway through the show, and we will do that as well. So shout out to everybody for tuning in today.
Shout out for everybody for tuning in today. And also shout out Danny Gonzalez, Kevin, who shouted us out on his presser yesterday. And if you guys haven't, go check that out. Ty Pelly actually kind of threw it in our direction, but pretty cool stuff. And we appreciate Coach for, type of shout out like that. Can't wait to have Coach back on this show. But Kevin, should we just hop right into it then? A little bit of Caleb Holt?
Yeah, let's start talking a little bit of Caleb Holt, Damon, because he did talk to Joe Tipton of On3, who, in the Valley has been having a bit of a rough go recently, whether it be if you're a Sun Devil fan or not. The On3 side of things, at least when it comes to basketball recruiting, I am not wavering in my faith in Joe Tipton's accuracy, Damon. He is not like Josh Pate, you know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there.
And what did they necessarily get wrong that they were pushing Kenny to Michigan?
I think that
it seemed like Michigan wanted Kenny, no?
Yes, but I think that where people were saying that they were wrong is that the idea that, Kenny wanted out or that Kenny was pushing hard to get to Michigan when that was necessarily not the case, it seems like. But either way, On3's reputation here in the Valley, good or not, Joe Tipton's reputation as a writer, good. And he spoke with Caleb Holt
Those
recently.
Exact same people hate us, by the way, Kevin.
True.
Just so you know.
No, I'm with it.
On3 sounds like an ally, in my opinion. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes,
and if ASU
by
burner accounts hate Pete Nakos and On3, then sounds like that's my guy. And That's my company.
Exactly. Oof. Kobe, keep that fist up, Damon. We got to hold the line for Kobe, who screwed up his mustache. And, he's going through it right now. That's
right
tough.
Before Christmas.
Right before Christmas is really brutal. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel you on that. I was getting a haircut one time, sneezed, almost lost my whole beard. That was a whole ordeal in and of itself. But Caleb Holt last week announced his top final 5 schools, and that list was Alabama, Arizona, Houston, Kentucky, and the Friars of Providence. Damon, out of the blue, from the top rope, Providence makes it into Caleb Holt's top 5. He is a 6'5" combo guard at a prolific prep in Florida. Now, we know why you're here today. You are not here to see what he thinks about the Providence Flyers. You are not here to see what he thinks about, Kentucky's bench unit for this year. You're here to see if he can become an Arizona Wildcat. And we do have a couple things from Caleb Holt. This is Caleb Holt on his recruitment specifically to Arizona and where he stands with them today. He said, I got to play for Coach Tommy during Team USA, the U19 team. Really got to know him. He talks to you about anything, but when it gets serious, he's serious. And he instills a lot of confidence in me on the court. I like that. I love that he has confidence in me and can see what I can do.
I like that. I like that, the way that you enunciated that, Kevin.
I try to theatricalize these reads a little bit. Why not?
Go into the mind.
Go into the mind of a Caleb Holt. What is he thinking?
I like that. That's good.
I think that was a damn good Caleb Holt impression.
Yeah.
Anyway, Damon, what are you taking away from that quote that Caleb Holt had on his time with Tommy Lloyd in Arizona so far?
I think that just essentially that he knows what it's like to play for one Tommy Lloyd. There's not really a whole lot in there that is super mind-blowing. He basically says, I played for him, and he's serious when he wants to be, and he instills confidence in me. That's about as generic vanilla of a statement as you can get. But it is tangible experience working with Tommy Lloyd in which he enjoyed it, and that's something to be said that a lot of these other lists and teams that are on this list don't necessarily have.
That, in addition to this quote, though, I feel like might make you care a little bit more. This is Caleb Holt on what he's looking for in a head coach, Damon. And does this remind you of maybe anyone we just heard him talk about? A coach who is looking for me to be the number one guy on their team, run the engine. Somebody who believes in me. Somebody who plays a lot of ball screens. Somewhere I can make decisions on the ball for sure. And when you compare that to what he did say about his relationship with Tommy Lloyd and maybe someone who believes in him, he said he instills a lot of confidence in me on court. I like that. I love that he has confidence in me and can see what I can do. So does reading this quote make the first quote mean any more to you, Damon?
A little bit, yeah, I do think so. I just think that the fact that he liked working with Tommy Lloyd is the big thing there, and also that he's looking for a team that will make him the number one option on offense. I think that's the other portion of this that makes me think Arizona is potentially the right move for one Caleb Holt, because we've talked about, and Caleb Holt's talked about it before. Like, Braden Burries is going to be in the league next year. This is a word straight out of Caleb Holt's mouth. And that was one of the things that Arizona was kind of trying to, market to a Caleb Holt of like, hey, you can come here, you can be the guy, you can run the show on offense and step into that kind of volume scorer role that hypothetically is going to have a Caleb Holt-sized kind of piece, missing out of the wall. So I do think that is where you can kind of maybe have a little bit of confidence here is hey, can Caleb Holt be sold on? There is a clear opportunity for you to be the number one scoring option, the guy who is going to be the engine on offense, as you say. And it can be with a coach who runs a system that you enjoy, you would enjoy working with. And I think all in all, like, it's just a damn good fit, Kevin.
I think so too. And as you pointed out pre-show, Damon, we have some new blood in this recruitment for Arizona as Coach BC, Coach Chappelle is getting in on this action as well, being a part of this pitch to Caleb Holt, trying to get him to Tucson. And I think when you talk about, whether it's us talking to people in our chat, us talking to other Arizona pundits, media members, or whatnot, when we talk about what makes Tommy Lloyd unique as a recruiter, people are obviously going to say, oh, his passport is stamped more than anybody else's. Awesome. That does make him unique, right? I think what else makes Tommy Lloyd unique is he seems to be, based on everything we hear from players, coaches alike, an incredible relationship builder. He seems to be a guy that once he gets in the room with a player, whether or not that player ends up signing with him or not, he really makes deep personal connections with the guys that he recruits. And I think it's a side effect or a consequence of what me and Damon have identified multiple times in the off seasons here since Tommy Lloyd has joined Arizona, that he's not a spray and pray Call of Duty player. He is a sniper, right? He goes out there. He's not just trying to hit the most bodies, get the most offers, and hopefully enough players come back that he can work with and meld and mold. No. Tommy Lloyd goes out there, picks like 2.5 handfuls of guys at the start, it seems like, And I'm not speaking from a place of knowledge on his actual personal process, but I'm saying that's what it seems like he does. He goes out, gets a couple handfuls of guys, and says, these are the only players I really want to focus on recruiting-wise this year. Can we get these guys? If yes, keep pushing. If no, drop the ball. We're not going to, chase our own tail trying to get a high schooler to, love our program more than the next one. That's not what this is. And I think Tommy Lloyd's focus has really allowed him to build deep connections with his players, build connections that last beyond just the 1 year that Koa Pete's going to be here, right? Like the Koa Pete connection that Tommy Lloyd has is huge, right? The connection he has with Braden Burries, the trust that Burries has in Lloyd is huge. And I think that's going to extend to classes going forward, right? I think that this ability of Tommy Lloyd to make it personal in a good way, make it feel like a family, let kids know that he has their best interest in mind, it's only going to go to benefit Arizona basketball. And I think that when you talk about Caleb Holt saying that this is what he's looking for in a coach, a guy who believes in him and is going to instill confidence in him and let him make decisions on the ball, what has Tommy Lloyd done with Braden Burries this year, if not let him make decisions on the ball? He's let him run the offense at times. He's let him do everything he needs to do to get his feet under him, and we are reaping the benefits as Arizona Wildcat fans because Tommy Lloyd put that trust in Braden Burries. He did not jump ship. He did not hit the panic button. He did not increase his blood pressure when Braden Burries was having these bad games. He knew what kind of player he had in Braden Burries. He was patient. He put confidence in him, and we're now reaping the benefits. So I hope that this can result in a Caleb Holt commitment to Arizona based on the relationship that Tommy Lloyd and Coach BC are building.
Does feel like it gives Arizona at least just a slight leg up here in the recruitment. And it's what makes the Team USA element of Tommy Lloyd, being the head coach over there so, just beneficial to this university. In fact, it kind of pisses me off that like he even puts Grant McCasland on the freaking staff. Throw all the Big 12 coaches away. This is our advantage,
Literally.
Tommy. Don't help out Texas Tech. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
we good over here. Go get some Big East coaches. Like what's Ed Cooley up to? Not too much after hitting a small child with a water bottle the other night.
Maybe a petty assault charge going his way.
For sure.
That's crazy.
But I'm looking at like, hey, let's get all the Big 12 coaches the hell out of here. Because I love this advantage that it brings Arizona and definitely think that this Caleb Holt recruitment, like it's kind of now with the roster spots that we have open, Kevin, the amount of volume that you would expect to be available on this next year's roster and the amount of holes that need to be filled still, I would be disappointed if Caleb Holt doesn't end up in Arizona Wildcat, I think, at this point. What say you?
I think it's too early to say that. Right.
Where else do you go, though, at this point, Kevin? There's slim pickings from Arizona's standpoint of who they're actually targeting now.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I'm still holding out hope that the transfer portal, like even if you don't get these high-level high school guys, that the transfer portal can be that for you. I mean, look at what Michigan has been able to do this year in terms of going from a team that last year you and I were looking at like, man, this Big 12 soft Charmin team, whatever. And then year two, you go out and get Yaxel Landeborg, Cadeau, you add Ede Mara, and now you're looking like the second best team in the country.
I hear you there, and I know I don't want to cut you off, but I just think that like Michigan is also playing in a world where with money that we will never play in. Michigan has a coach that is a different coach than Tommy Lloyd and how he is going to approach team building. And I've never seen Tommy Lloyd bring in transfers that were like super high impact players. I mean, Jaden Bradley developed into that, but he was a bench player when he got brought in by Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd, and he's a 5-star too, McDonald's All-American, but Tommy Lloyd helped mold him from a guy who was coming off the bench into a starting point guard of this team the last couple of years. You look at Tobe Awaka, he's a monster. He wasn't exactly the most coveted player. And I think that you could say that goes to show that Tommy is able to elevate these players for sure. But I also think that it goes to show, like, we're not bringing in the Yaxel Landenbergs of the transfer portal. When have we under Tommy Lloyd?
No, yeah.
It's a little bit for me, like, if we're going into the offseason being like we're projecting on guys to develop, I don't feel great about that as an Arizona basketball fan, because I think that we are a better basketball program than let's get backup from Alabama guard and hope that he gets better because our coach is so good. It's like, I want to have guys like Koa Pete and Braden Burries leading the line next year who are 5 stars, upper echelon talents who are going to really drastically change the ceiling of next year's roster. No offense to these guys, but like I've seen the typical transfers Tommy brings in are Courtney Ramey's and Cedric Henderson's, in my opinion.
What about Kashad Johnson's and Caleb Love's?
What about Trey Townsend?
What about Del Orso? We could literally go back and forth.
Is kind of along the lines of what I'm talking about.
But I'm saying,
you think
like,
Del Orso's a level above Courtney Ramey and Cedric Henderson? Those are like 82 grade players who are like good and can help your team and be in the rotation, no doubt. But like, is that a Final Four starter?
Well,
no.
I'm mostly saying, like, if you go get a player of Delhi today's quality, not Delhi last year's quality. Does that make sense?
But we didn't bring in we brought in Delhi from Campbell.
I hear you. And then Delhi from Campbell played 2 years, and the second year he looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, Tommy can develop players. That was what I was trying to say, but
I'm not worried about that though, to be honest with you, because in the portal, it's hard to be like 1-to-1 with that, right? Like, oh well, we haven't brought in a Yaxel, so we can't bring in a Yaxel. We have brought in a Caleb, so we know we can do that. But we also brought in it's a.
Kashad's the one dude where I'm like, yeah, that was a high level transfer that he beat out Kentucky for, started in a national championship, and was, like that was a recruiting W for sure. I hear you, Sam. I said all of those things, but I just like it wasn't the same. Go look at his stats at Alabama. Like he wasn't. I understand he was definitely a coveted player, but he was taking a 6-man role at Arizona. He wasn't even taking a starting job when he came to Arizona. It's a little bit. It's a lower caliber transfer than a Yaxel Landenberg was my entire point. Like,
True.
We're not bringing in a guy who is going to be a game changer, in my opinion, on a transfer portal thing, unless we're projecting that he's going to develop under Tommy Lloyd, which they very well could. But that's why I think you need the 5-star Caleb Holt.
I agree with you in that sense that like you do need some sort of blue chip to offset, right? Like the other color chips. What's a non-blue chip? Do we have like a term? Is there like a popular term for that? Like
I don't know.
Because blue chip is like
question.
Blue chip is like the best. Is there like green chip being the middle? Either way, someone in the chat knows. Someone let me know. But I trust Tommy Lloyd to figure out what he needs dependent upon the year that he had and is going into. Right? I think like the way the European market has opened up, you get a guy like Ivan Karchenkov as a freshman come in this year, right? And he's impacting every single game. And I think that you can go – I'm not saying you can just go find Ivan Karchenkov's like 100 out of every 1,000 guys, but they're out there. They are out there. And I do think that if I trust in any coach in the country to find those diamond-in-the-rough European guys, it's Tommy Lloyd. Right? Everyone was saying Luka Bogovac was going to be like God's gift to European basketball when he transferred over from Europe to UNC. And I would probably take Ivan Karchenkov over Bogovac, right? And I trust in Tommy Lloyd to do those things. I trust in Tommy Lloyd to find guys that might, even if they're not like the sexiest transfer guy, is going to win you some basketball games. And I think when you're talking about the level of recruiting he has had, pardon me, getting emotional talking about Tommy Lloyd, man. Oh, that's our leader. Trust in Tommy. But in all seriousness, though, like when you ask if like I'd be super disappointed if we did not get Caleb Holt at this stage, I'm not there yet because he's from Huntsville, Alabama, and Alabama's in his top 5. Like, and Alabama's a really good program right now.
Yeah.
Who, if you're a guard specifically, and you want to make decisions on the ball, like Caleb Holt has said he wants to do, not many programs in the country letting their guards do it like Alabama is, right? So I think it's hard to be like, we have to get Caleb Holt, or we get someone like Caleb Holt, because they don't grow on trees. And I know we're Arizona. I know we're supposed to be able to get one of those guys every cycle. But it's hard to do that. It really is. And I think the way the transfer portal is oriented these days, the way the foreign portal is oriented these days, I don't think Tommy Lloyd's going to be hard pressed for options. Like, I think he's going to have his options out there. I think he's going to be able to replenish his roster from this year to next, with or without Caleb Holt. Now, would this whole process be a ton easier, smoother, and a whole hell of a lot more fun if you're able to get a guy like Caleb Holt? 100%. And that is where I agree with you, right? It takes it from if Arizona is able to do this, they're a contender to, if Arizona is able to do this, they win the whole thing, which is where we're at this year, right? You have all the blue chippers, you have the depth, you have the veterans. So now it takes it from, like I said, they're contenders to they had better make a Final Four or at least an Elite Eight and lose to like the greatest team that ever walked the earth. I'm just not right there yet with next year's team as of right now. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense or no?
Yeah, it just we have 7 spots to fill and we have 1 guy in the building right now. So it's a little bit of a scary proposition, especially when you factor in that Tommy Lloyd essentially offers no high school recruits. So now we're banking on bringing in, if we don't get Caleb Holt, 6 transfers. That's the plan.
We probably wouldn't be the only team in the country doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's not our recipe, bro.
I get you. But I think in the modern era of college basketball, it's genuinely hard to have like a consistent, unwavering recipe. It really is. Like
I think if you're a premier program, that's not the case at all.
What is Duke's recipe specifically?
Get the best players every single year.
All of them, right?
They don't really bring in transfers. They get way more of just the premier blue chip 5-star McDonald's All-American types.
I get you. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's not that many programs that genuinely year over year you're like, yep, that's the exact same team as last year, and that's the same way they were built. I think there's just some.
Well, what does Houston target? Do they not have a style of play and
they have a style
specific
of play.
Player and prototype that they go after?
They do, but I'm saying like I don't look at any team and be like, based on the way that they have recruited in the past, that in the new era of college basketball, it's going to look the exact same every year, right? Like I just don't have that expectation. I think there might be a year where Arizona might end up getting a G League guy in 2 years because they might need him, and he might be the best guy that Tommy Lloyd thinks is available. And like I think it's going to be so fluid the way that college basketball goes. You're going to have, because Tommy Lloyd has been open about changing his recruiting process from 2 years ago now, 3 years ago, whenever he brought in Caleb Love, to now, right? Because he's talking about COVID era guys, the level of eligibility, right? The length of the eligibility the COVID year guys had, they ended last year. Tommy Lloyd's been open about how that has shifted his mindset, right? From, damn, we got to go get a Caleb Love to, damn, we got to get a Braden Burries, right? Maybe we do get a Caleb Holt, right? So this is to your point about the way that in which he's shifting his mindset. But to what I was saying, him shifting his mindset, I think shows that this situation is a bit more fluid than that. I think it shows that he's still kind of looking at next year's roster with an eye on this year and an eye on next year, thinking, okay, who's in the portal? We got some European guys. Do we need this 18-year-old? Like, because what makes Pete Burries and Aristote and Karchenkov so special is the mental, is the stuff that you can't really see on the tape, is the stuff that you don't really know until you get him in the room. And I trust that Tommy Lloyd and company are shifting, filtering, vetting out these guys. And if you don't think that they're going to be a one-to-one fit, don't bring them in just to bring them in. You know what I mean? And so I think
that's a little bit like over here for me, though. Like that's almost a different discussion. They offer such a little amount of people that I think that they do vet. That the people that get offers are the ones that have been vetted.
Yes.
Personality-wise. So if Caleb Holt has an offer, the idea is that he would fit with the program already. Otherwise, Tommy wouldn't even mess around with it, in my opinion. So that's why I think he already, I mean, like I don't see Arizona competing with the Michigans and the, Kentuckys of the world for the blue chip, volume scorer transfer who has proven that he can get 20 points per game at the college level. I just don't know if we're going to be able to beat out those teams for that guy. And yeah, Caleb, I did when I was discussing it. 2023, you bring in Jaden Bradley, you bring in Caleb Love, you bring in Kashad Johnson. Unreal transfer class. Do you want to pigeonhole yourself into a spot where you have to do that? You have to do that, where you bring in a McDonald's All-American from Alabama, a starter on a national championship runner-up, and a guy who was the leading scorer on another national championship runner-up. Because then I think you're in a little bit of murky waters where you're playing so high risk with, we have to fill this many roster spots, and the expectation is that there is no transition year at Arizona basketball. You go straight into the next year where you're contending again because you're Tommy Lloyd. You've set these expectations for yourself, And this fan base has understandably high expectations. Hopefully talking about a year in which that, we're, like reaching levels of success we haven't seen in a long time, right? Like, especially if, say, Arizona comes off a Final Four. What's the expectation now going into next year? And if you have 5 transfer spots to fill and all you have is Cam Holmes in the door, like, I think that you're putting yourself in a really, really bad spot. I'm not saying it can't be done. I just think that it's like the ideal build for Tommy Lloyd, and the one that's going to make me comfortable going into next year, is one that has Caleb Holt on this roster, Cam Holmes on this roster, and maybe Bruce Branch reclassifying. But other than that, like, you're kind of got slim pickings on the high school side of things.
We're going to keep breaking down Caleb Holt's potential Arizona recruitment and a lot more here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. It's ad break time. Stick around, leave a like, don't go anywhere. It is that time of the year. Love the play with our friends over at Arizona Lottery. The best stocking stuffer right now are these holiday scratch-offs. They have scratch-offs, Damon, that legitimately smell like peppermint, plus holiday tickets from all the Arizona Lottery kiosks. I was playing the Powerball. It's $1.6 billion right now. You can get a piece of that action with our friends over at Arizona Lottery. They're made for gifting, whether it's a white elephant gift exchange, a stocking stuffer, or just because there's always a chance that your little gift could be worth millions. Play and gift today with our friends over at Arizona Lottery. It really is the best way to elevate your little, gift exchange, or just make that stocking extra valuable this holiday season.
We all know that Arizona is just one of the best sports cultures that there is out there in the United States. And of course, NASCAR is coming to Phoenix Raceway, and it is going to be no different. We're taking it up a notch, actually, because for the first time ever, NASCAR and NTT IndyCar Series are racing during the same weekend at Phoenix Raceway. It's a 2-for-1, Kevin, a race weekend unlike any other out there at Phoenix Raceway, right there in the foothills of the Estrella Mountains. I've been out there before. It is an experience unlike anything I've ever been to. You're just out there. The sun's on your skin. You're tailgating. You're shotgunning some beers. The community, everyone's just, you could feel the love out there at a NASCAR event. Everyone's just out there trying to have a good time. And it really is a unique sports experience for the sports fan in your life. Secure your seats now at the link in our description at www.phoenixraceway.com/March-Cup-Weekend.
Welcome on back in. We have more Caleb Holt to break down. If you're wondering, when is this Caleb Holt guy going to make a decision? Right? We're talking about he needs to go to Arizona, right? You have one guy in the door. Damon is got the panic button on the other side of the room, but it's in the room. Right? It's not on the table. It's not within arm's reach, but it's in the room.
I think the panic button is on the table once Caleb Holt commits elsewhere.
Okay,
that was what I was trying to say.
Okay.
What
I'm trying to say is right now is not in the room because the timeline is quite far off. Probably decision time around February or March. That's probably a good time. I'm going to watch the season, analyze what the teams are doing. A lot of people can say a lot of stuff, but you got to produce on the court. And this bodes well for Arizona, right? The fact that Caleb Holt is waiting it out, waiting to see how these coaches that have told him, I got this player and I want to use him the way I want to use you this year, and we're going to do this, and this year our goals are this. He wants to see if it's all talk or if you're actually about it. Can you actually develop these guys? Can you actually coach? What does your team play like? What's the chemistry look like out there? Do you win games? Flat out. I think this bodes well for Arizona. Damon, do you agree?
I do. I think that this is another element where it makes you feel like, Arizona potentially really just checks all the boxes for a Caleb Holt. You go along down the line. He wants to be the number one option. He wants to play for a coach that instills confidence in him, while also saying that Tommy Lloyd is a coach that instills confidence in him. He wants to, play for a team that is going to be successful this year, right? He wants to see a team that is tangibly successful in the year of 2025, 2026, in a year in which Arizona has been the number one team for the better portion of this season now. I mean, it feels pretty good. If we're talking on-court success having a factor, this is no better year than this year, right, Kevin? Because, we're number one.
Number one undefeated. We haven't lost.
Feels pretty good. I definitely, that aspect of things definitely feels solid from an Arizona standpoint. And, I know we've obviously had some past history with not necessarily performing to expectations in March. But I do think that Arizona this year is like a little bit different caliber.
And
we're talking about the best team probably since 2014, 2015 under Sean Miller, the back-to-back Elite Eight teams. So this is an era of Arizona basketball where I think you can really sell it to recruits and say who plays a more fun up and down style that is conducive to winning than right here at this program.
Certainly not the Kentucky Wildcats, as Max says in the chat. See how those teams do? Yeah, he's not going to like Kentucky. I did not pull all the quotes from all the teams that he talked about, but I will give you some insights as to what he said about some of the other teams Arizona's going up against. You queued up Kentucky. This one's pretty brief. He said, and I quote, "They're going through some tough times right now, but Mark Pope still is recruiting me hard. They put a lot of points on the board." End of quote. That's it. And I think you can eliminate Kentucky today from Caleb Holt's recruitment. He gave 2 sentences on them. They're going through a tough time, and they put up a lot of points.
Dead rose emoji, white pigeon emoji, white dove emoji, flying away, heartbroken emoji. Kevin, it's done. It's over.
It is done. I do think that Alabama, like I said earlier, is a team that I'm terrified of in this recruitment.
I think that's the team. That's the other team you got to look at, especially just from a locational standpoint. How could you not be, that be the one that is concerning as an Arizona fan?
Locational, the style of play he wants to play in that NBA offense. Nate Oates runs the most NBA offense of any NBA offense in college, maybe outside of Kevin Young.
Phylon's probably gone next year because he tested the draft waters this year. Unless is he even a senior? He might be a senior.
I think he might be like is he a junior or sophomore?
He's a sophomore. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah, he might be gone, though. He tested the waters. We'll see if he does it again.
Same thing with Aiden Holloway, maybe potentially leaving as well. I don't know. But he did say of Alabama, ever since 8th grade, I got my first offer from them. That's just been on my left shoulder the whole time. They play an NBA offense. Nate Oates is probably the best offensive-minded coach, a basketball guru. Sometimes we just talk about the game, his opponents, the Kentucky game or other games like that. We just have a good relationship. And he's a great offensively minded coach. He really wants me to come in and play, be an engine for them next year. Like LeBaron, color me terrified. That was a glowing response about Alabama. He called Nate Oates a basketball guru, Damon. He had a lot of nice things to say about BC and Tommy Lloyd. He did not call them gurus. And so, yeah, I'm terrified of Alabama when it comes down to the Caleb Holt recruitment. But I am not nearly as terrified about like Kentucky or Providence, who I think is really in it because you have decent young coaches that are making a hard push, and they play a good NBA-style offense. And,
of course, Houston is always scary.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I do like Arizona's chances with Caleb Holt. Alabama does seem like the other team at the top here from an Arizona standpoint, although, as I said, like Houston is always scary with Kelvin Sampson just looming in the shadows there. But the one thing I will say, Kevin, that like in regards to our previous discussion about like is it panic time essentially if Caleb Holt decides to go elsewhere, Tommy Lloyd does always have the back pocket option of trying to bring in another international prospect, as you were saying. And you might not expect the next guy to be Ivan Karchenkov level. That might be too high of expectations to like bank on necessarily.
Yeah.
But Ivan Karchenkov came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Absolutely nowhere. It was 1 week like, oh, we're hearing that they might be interested in this foreign player too. He's in Tucson. He's moved into the apartments across from Campbell and 6th Street. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, sounds good. Like it just feels like it was like Tommy was in case a guy like Carter Bryant maybe was not going to be coming back. Like he always had this option of, man, I got a damn good basketball player that I could bring in here. And call his number, and he'll be here in Tucson. Again, not saying everybody is Karchenkov and as ready to go as a Karchenkov, but I do think that Tommy just has that innate ability of, and Jack Murphy and all the other staff of like, we have connections overseas, and we can bring in guys who are maybe a little bit more under the radar and can play a role on this team and help this team win.
I agree with you. Do we have any final thoughts on Caleb Holt's latest before we get on to Tommy Lloyd's presser and a whole lot more on the AZ Wildcats pod?
Make the right call.
Make the right call, Caleb. Make the right call. It's the AZ Wildcats podcast. Leave a like, drink your water. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. You see me and Damon rocking these beautiful hats damn near every show. It's Branded Bills. Branded Bills, I have our new PHNX Canvas collab. ALLCITY, if you are out there in DMVR, they got DMVR hats as well. Branded Bills is absolutely cooking. I don't know the stats on it. I can't legally claim this, but I will personally claim this with my own eyes, my lion eyes. This is the fastest growing hat brand, headwear, and apparel brand in the nation, dare I say. And you get a promo code for BBPHNX. That is BBPHNX for 15% off your first order of the most stylish way to elevate your brand. If you have a company that you're trying to grow, my girlfriend bakes sweets. I might need her to get some JV Pastry Branded Bills hats to push her brand, because it's the best way to elevate whatever you do out there. They have partnerships with over 40 universities, including Arizona. They have that beautiful campus collection. So head to brandedbills.com and use promo code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order.
Branded Bills sponsoring this podcast. As always, Kevin and I rocking a little bit of Branded Bills. And of course, we also need to tell you guys about Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because we're always repping a nice little wild horse pass action, maybe a trip to V-Kiva, Lone Butte, Santan Mountain, Kevin. They got 4 locations in the valley, all in different locations for different people that are in different areas of the valley. And of course, if you haven't checked those locations out for yourself, you need to, because you can do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And when they say that, they mean it, because there's so many damn options to having fun, whether it's the live table games and slots, whether it's a trip up to the nice Ashula Steakhouse, whether it's maybe just hanging out in the sports book, getting a little bit of UFC gambling on, like I know my guy Kevin Thomas likes to get involved with. You can achieve legendary status at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. I'm a wild horse pass man myself. It's where we host our PHNX Cardinals away watch parties. We do Suns watch parties there as well. Maybe a little bit of AZ Wildcats stuff in the works. Hopefully, maybe we could get cooking on that, Kevin. But we love Gila River Resorts and Casinos. We love hanging out there. And of course, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathgila.com for more details.
G-Rod, G-Unit, hit the air horn. G-Rod, 3959, just became a member, and they are talking about, I love the fact that we're the best athletics team in the state. What are up with those? What are those guys up the road talking about right now? I promise they are not talking hoops. They're only talking about finding the next QB in the portal. Man, that's tough. Shout out to you, G-Rod. Thank you for becoming a member. Means a lot. Drop some emojis, of which you have just unlocked in the chat down below. Thank you for your support of this podcast, G-Rod.
Shout out my guy G-Rod, of course, becoming a member here. Awesome stuff. And of course, you got to take advantage of some of those emojis in the chat, my guy. Let's drop a Sims emoji. Let's drop a turnover sort emoji. Let's drop another Sims emoji on the other side of it, just to kind of sandwich it all together. Beautiful stuff. Maybe a DJ Tommy in the mix. And if you guys are a member, please run up those emojis here in the chat. Drop a like on this video as well. Kevin, I believe we had some Tommy Lloyd presser clips you wanted to get into in this segment.
I did. I wanted to talk a little bit about the balance of this Arizona Wildcats basketball team, because I did a little bit of stat hunting last night, and I found out that Arizona has had 3 players in double figures twice, Florida and UCLA. They've had 4 players in double-digit scoring once against Utah Tech. They've had 5 players score in double digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And they've had 6 players score in double digits now twice, just 1 point shy of 7 guys in double figures last night, as I believe ADO only put up 9. Damon, this team is versatile. It is really a pick your poison kind of team. Do you want to let them shoot? ADO drops 20 on you like he did earlier this year against UCLA. Or do you want to let them work in the paint and try to outshoot them like Alabama did? That doesn't work. The balance is incredible. And this is what Tommy Lloyd had to say on the versatility and the overall equality of the scoring on this year's team.
Oh, that's a good thing. I'm happy when that happens, but it's not like something we game plan for. We don't tell guys, okay, you scored 12 points, start letting your teammates score. It's just kind of how the game ends up sometimes. And we have lots of good players, and we've kind of really settled in on that 8-man rotation, and I think those guys are getting comfortable. Finding their spots. And so if we can have, 6 or 7 guys in double figures on any given night, that's a good thing.
You think Tommy Lloyd knows about the 6'7" thing? like he has a grandkid. It's possible he was getting got with the 6'7s. Either way, though, Damon, like he's right? Obviously, this is not something they're doing on purpose, but I think when you have so many skilled, talented guys that are unselfish on the same team, you're going to get a lot of good shot, great shot, and you're going to get a lot of guys in double figures. That is one of my favorite things about watching this Arizona basketball team this year is the fact that anybody can go off for 10, 15, 20 points on any night. It could be Karchenkov against South Dakota State going for 15 and 8. It could be Pete going for 25 and 10. It could be Krivas going for 13 and 15. It could just as easily be Awaka, ADO, Aristote, anybody else. This team is deep. This team is balanced. And I liked hearing Coach Lloyd's answer about that, Damon.
Yeah, they have 7 guys, maybe 8 if you expand it to Aristote in the rotation and get a little bit deeper out, who can give you double-digit points on any given night. And that's pretty special from a college basketball team. And there's so many nights, Kevin, where we look at the stats at the end of it and we go, well, Burry's had 18 and Pete had 15 and Bradley had 16 and Del Orso had 12. And you're sitting there and you're going, how did they all score in double digits? Awaka had 8 because, he had 4 O boards that led to putbacks. Like, it's unbelievable, man. And I think that the main thing that it does kind of display for Arizona is that there's so many different ways they can beat you. Like, you're not going to get a guy in foul trouble and all of a sudden Arizona just falls off of a cliff. Yeah. The one dude I could say that maybe would be the case for me at least, would be Jaden Bradley. Because there's not a like-for-like point guard comparison of someone that you can throw in and feel comfortable playing heavy minutes and doing that job at a high level. Like, I think Braden Burries has looked a lot better in his playmaking, reps and with the ball in his hands. But like, say Jaden Bradley gets in foul trouble versus Houston, you're comfortable with Braden Burries taking the ball up the court as point guard for 20 minutes of a basketball game? I would push back on that a little bit. I think that that's the one guy where I'm like, needs to be on the court for Arizona to be successful. Other than that, I think that there's so many different ways, so many different lineups that they can hit you with. And it makes this team just that much more, that gives them that much higher of a ceiling, I think, in March, because it's not going to be a situation where, our big man's in foul trouble and now we're screwed against a really good team that we play. No, we got Tobe Awaka coming off the bench. And he is probably going to get in foul trouble too, but it's fine because they're both going to play 20 minutes, and Tobe Awaka is going to make you feel him a little bit as well on the side. So, yeah, I mean, I listen. I think that this team's depth is definitely its probably main strength.
And it really felt like until you got more from Braden Burries, you really couldn't reap the benefits of that depth because it felt like you needed the depth to really overcome what you were not getting from Braden Burries. Here is Tommy Lloyd talking about Braden Burries hitting his stride this time of season.
Yeah, I mean, Braden's in a good way right now. I mean, I think he's, getting more confidence, and you could see today, kind of once we got in the game and they got a little bit heated and competitive, you could see him rise to that moment. I mean, he's a competitor. He's a good player. So, it takes a certain amount of confidence to do that, and he showed that today. So, continued progress from him for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to talk more about Braden Burries. We're going to talk more about that importance, and we got more Tommy Lloyd. And our wish list, we have a packed show today. It's the AZ Wildcats podcast. Leave a like. Do not go anywhere. You see us drinking it every single pregame show. There's only one tequila that I drink these days, and it is Three Amigos Tequila. More specifically, that Ramona's Reserve. It has the perfect trio, the holy trinity of S's when it comes to liquor. It's sweet, it's spiced, and it goes down oh so smooth. That Three Amigos Ramona's Reserve, chef's kiss. But if that is not your style, right? They have Blanco, they have Anejo, they have Extra Anejo, and plus, that Blanco, you can find it in Circle K's statewide, Damon, out here in the Freedom State, because this is a Valley-founded company right here in 1939. It's been crafted in Mexico with 100% blue Weber agave. It's award-winning for a reason. Damon and I taste this beautiful Three Amigos tequila, and we praise it for a reason. It is legitimately good. Like I said, make sure to get that Three Amigos Blanco, now available at Circle K this season. Tailgate, toast, and celebrate the Valley's favorite tequila, Three Amigos.
Love Three Amigos tequila. Can't get enough of it, Kevin. Truly, when we talk about it, it is the absolute best, the absolute smoothest tequila out there in the business. And Circle K is the only place I'm getting my gas when I am looking to save money, because it is the cheapest gas. And if you're an Inner Circle Rewards member, you also save even more. 25 cents off per gallon in your first 5 fill-ups, 3 cents off per gallon every time you fill up at the tank after that, and 5 cents off per gallon once you reach premium status. All types of fuel days. Be on the lookout for them. There was one just last week. I actually missed it, Kevin. I'm very sad about that.
I did too.
A 40 cents off per gallon on particular fuel days. There's usually about one a month, so you got to be on the lookout for it, but it's only available to Inner Circle Rewards members. How easy is it to sign up? All you do is choose a password, plug in a phone number, and pick an email, and you are already signed up. Then at the tank, all you have to do is plug in that phone number, and the savings are right there in front of you. Guys, Inner Circle Rewards membership is so easy to do. It's so easy to save, and if you haven't done so yet, you just hate money. It also is America's thirst stop. They got all sorts of great deals on drinks and caffeine, Kevin, but we know Circle K, in its heart of hearts, is a gas company. And of course, the cheapest gas in this state is at Circle K. So head on over, download that Circle K app for free. Join the Inner Circle for free. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details.
We are back. We are back from the third break of the AZ Wildcats podcast edition, Tuesday, December 23rd, Christmas Eve, approximately 2:49 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Christmas Eve Junior, I believe they call it.
I can relate to that, brother. But it is officially holiday break. Maybe there are some students here in our very chat enjoying their time off from classes. Maybe some begrudgingly doing some extra work that they were supposed to do before break but didn't do, turned it in late. Teacher gave you a graceful little couple days extra. I know the drill. I was that kid in college. But it's about that mindset, right, Damon? Like, what are you going to do with the break to come back and absolutely kill it to either end your semester, your season, Q4, if you're in sales or whatnot? This is Tommy Lloyd on the mindset that he has going into this Christmas break. And then I'll also play the clip of him saying why this break is going to be good for the freshmen in particular as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to manage seasons lots of ways, and you can be a tyrant, and you can, and try to demand everything perfect in your way all the time, or you can be a human and understand you're dealing with other humans and try to help them through it. And obviously you can look at myself and continue to figure out ways to get better. And, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple of days on this break. I'm going to kind of clear my mind, and I'm going to really think about, what this team can do moving forward, because, we've had a great, obviously pre-Christmas, but it's pre-Christmas. I mean, it's nice. I mean, I'm happy we're here, but we really haven't accomplished anything yet. So, let's roll up our sleeves and be more excited about the challenges coming down the road. That's what I'm excited about, those. I'm looking forward to South Dakota State, and I'm really looking forward to playing in the Big 12.
The life of a college basketball coach. You are truly never off the clock. Even on Christmas break, Tommy Lloyd is saying, I'm going to take a couple days off to evaluate what this team needs to do going forward. Yeah, to watch tape.
I got to take some days off to sit down and watch the tape.
To get caught up on the games that I've missed from coaching basketball games. Damon, I wanted to ask you, once Tommy Lloyd takes his little couple-day sabbatical and gets draws some conclusions as to how to move forward and what Arizona needs to improve on to get to where their ultimate goal is, which is cutting down nets, what do you think he's going to come to conclusion-wise? What are some areas you think Tommy Lloyd, if you're putting on your Coach Lloyd hat, your Brandon Bills Coach Chappelle hat, if you will, what does Arizona need to do to get better after the holiday break, even though they were 12-0 before it?
You're asking Damon?
I'm asking Damon.
Or you're asking Damon what he would do if he was in Tommy Lloyd's shoes.
Bang, bingo.
I mean, the inbounds out of bounds plays, like that's sideline out of bounds, under the basket, all of the out of bounds plays that's number one, top of the list. We're fixing it this holiday break, this Christmas break. No one's pressing us. No one's getting us in a full court press and getting us to basically fall into exactly how teams are ideally trying to trap you. It feels like Arizona falls into that every single time that it's a late game scenario. I certainly hope that that's the focus. But given that that's been a struggle with Tommy teams kind of over the last couple years, I definitely don't necessarily think that will be the case. I genuinely will. I just will keep saying it. It's baffling to me, as good of a coach as Tommy Lloyd is, that is something that we struggle with as a program as much as we do, because it feels like it's just something that is not being worked on enough in practice, literally, because they have no concept, rhyme, or reason to how they are approaching this on a game-by-game basis. Now, other things that I think Tommy might actually focus in a little bit more on, I see here free throws from AZ Cat Dan. I think, like, if you're Koa Pete, maybe. Like,
man,
just
Koa,
like,
you cannot have dinner. You cannot have dinner on Christmas Day until you've hit 100 free throws.
Lock
Fact.
him in RJ, lock him inside of Richard Jefferson, and just make him shoot free throws over the whole break. Tobe Awaka's taking a step back on his free throw shooting this year. Another guy who could definitely do a little bit better. Braden Burries hasn't exactly shot the best from free throw line either, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's something that you got to definitely deal with. But I don't know, man. I mean, free throws, I mean, we're nitpicking to the highest degree. I mean, this is the number one team in the country, best resume in the country, 12-0, beaten 5 ranked opponents. Like, it's hard to sit there and be like, well, there's this laundry list of things that we have to improve upon. But there are certainly some. So go ahead, Kevin, give me yours.
There's one that kind of, like, I feel like it's the elephant in the room. I know that the inbounds at what point was the elephant in the room, but I feel like that the inbounds thing has become the room. It's just something we live in, and we're trying to figure out how to get out of it. Either way.
It's an escape room.
It is an escape room. That's a great comparison. It's an escape room. While you keep looking for clues, I'm going to say that Arizona's got to turn down the turnovers, man. This is the team that is, I believe I tweeted it out off the top of my head. I think they had 6 games so far this year with 20-plus assists. The ball movement's incredible. The player movement's incredible. The turnovers is not incredible. They are 220th, Damon, in the country. Not among, I don't know, it's not good to be 220th in anything, really. Anyway, 220th in turnovers per game. That's just straight box score. So the raw numbers of turnovers per game, 12.7, that is 220th in the country. Pardon me, that's not good enough. If you're Arizona, that's the kind of stuff that catches you in March. Letting the team get close, turning the ball over a little bit too much, maybe a little bit too many points off of turnovers, and now you're playing from behind. As good as Arizona is, they could, I mean, people are talking about Michigan, right? In terms of being the best team in the country right now. I think I saw Shear put out yesterday that 2 writers in the AP, I believe, moved Arizona down from 1 to 2 because Michigan blew out the 250-somethingth team in the country. And the reason that Michigan's able to do that, to my knowledge, let me double check this while I talk. But to my knowledge, they're not turning the ball over as much as Arizona is. They're simply not. And I think when you talk about where Arizona can improve, when Saul asked Braden Burries to put on his Coach Lloyd hat, his Coach Chappelle Brandon Bills hat, and say, where do you get better? Braden Burries goes, man, I got to stop turning that ball over. And he's doing it against Bethune-Cookman. Respectfully to Braden Burries, who we've been very kind to. We appreciate Braden Burries, his family, the whole thing. But the laziness with the ball in the first half against Bethune-Cookman, game before holiday break or not, you can't have that.
Yeah.
Now, he did clean it up in the second half. Probably once Coach Lloyd and them got in the halftime about, yo, you cannot play this way ever. Ever. Not against Bethune-Cookman, not the first game before the holiday break, not the first game after the holiday break, ever. You cannot be that lazy with the ball. Michigan turns the ball over, about as much as about as much as Arizona does on a per game basis. That's interesting, though. But their turnover percentage, wow. We'll have to dive into this after the show. That's another conversation for a different day. You have to take care of the ball if you're Arizona. I think the turnovers is what Coach Lloyd is going to have to fix over Christmas break. It will cost you against teams like Houston. It will cost you against teams like Iowa State. It will cost you against JT Toppin, Christian Anderson, and Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So, I think that's my thing. I think if I'm Coach Lloyd, I'm evaluating it, and we got to fix the turnovers.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair. You look at just kind of the way that the style that these guys play. A lot of high-low, right? Like where Krivas and Awaka are
Yeah.
throwing down low passes.
Yeah.
That's going to lead to turnovers constantly. A lot of transition opportunities. That's a little bit more turnover prone, right? And then we talk about the inbound stuff. All garbage. All leads to a lot of turnovers. Like it is. We do have a slight turnover problem. I do think that's somewhat of a fixture of how this team plays and how Tommy Lloyd wants to play. And also, conversely, they force turnovers. So in a lot of these games against like a Houston or a Texas Tech, you might turn the ball over more than you're ideally hoping for, but you can counteract that by forcing turnovers in your own right. And it's not necessarily debilitating if you're also, getting 9 steals between Ivan Karchenkov and Jaden Bradley like you did against Bethune-Cookman, right? So
that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that, that is absolutely going to be a point of emphasis, and you're right in saying it, but I also think that that's like a somewhat of how this team is predisposed to, playing 40 minutes on any given night. But I do agree with you. I mean, we make the list there, Kevin. We got turnovers, we got inbounds plays specifically kind of banking off of that. And then we also got, what was the last one there?
We got press break
free
from
throws.
Sam and free throws from AZ Cat Dan.
Press break coincides with my inbounds to me at least.
That's like a indented bullet point. You got to do one to get to the other.
And that's also, it goes under turnovers, subset, inbounds, subset, press break. Like it's all combined, and I do think that there's some sloppiness that is kind of factored in. And I just keep saying it, Kevin. My biggest issue with it is that there isn't a designated like purpose to what people are doing out there when you're in those situations. It just kind of feels like a free for all. Jaden Bradley, get open.
It does.
And
feel
you're
like get open.
You're like, what? Like maybe like have 2 guys set screens for him off ball, and then he runs around those screens and collects the ball, and then this guy transfers over to that corner and he throws it to that guy. Like let's start getting some designed plays running, Tommy. That's what I really want to see. But yeah. Oh well. I mean, hopefully we do see that after this Christmas break here, or in a game in which we play South Dakota State, Kevin. And was there anything else from one Tommy Lloyd that we wanted to talk about?
Not really. We do have one more break to get to, but before we get to that, I did want to talk a little bit about Mobile Mawut, because we did have, we did have an update from one Tommy Lloyd about one Mobile Mawut, and what exactly happened on that play last night.
I haven't talked to Mobile. Mobile's a great kid. He's a great kid who probably did something, he shouldn't have done. I don't know if he said something on the first tee or he faked like he was contesting the guy's shot. I don't know, but both of them aren't right. And after they called the first technical, he must have said something else. I've never really asked. I just trusted the officials on that one, and I didn't want to go, make a scene and jump Mobile because he's a great kid. We'll deal with it. But, I just think it goes to show that, lots of things impact winning and lots of things impact a culture. And, even if you're not playing, you still can have an impact on the game. So maybe let's learn that lesson, and let's make sure it doesn't happen ever again, but especially in, maybe a closer game down the stretch. I'm going to chalk it up to a great teaching opportunity.
I like it. And to echo, I believe what Big Red 6, last night in our post-game chat said, this is just kids being immature and being dumb. That's just what, Mobile, we're not calling you dumb, but this was a little immature, silly decision you made. Got a bit too hype in the moment. Should you have been ejected? We don't believe so. It's free Mobile till Mobile is freed. You know what I mean? But that is a teachable moment, not only for him, but also for, Evan Nelson, right? Senior, you're sitting there laughing with him. He gets ejected. Maybe that's a moment where you got to say, laugh and be like, yo, you can't do that, though. We can't be, you know what I mean? You got to check him in that moment as well. So learning opportunities for everybody. And you get to learn about 2 more of our fine sponsors here on the AZ Wildcats podcast right now. Drop a like. Don't go anywhere. If you or someone you know has been involved in a serious injury or is in a wrongful death litigation situation, there's only one number to call, 602-783-8841. That is the number of the husband and wife law team. Mark and Alexis Breyer have made the Valley their home for, dare I say, generations, because they got 8 kids out here, and we know how that goes. So if you are. Like I said, in a serious injury situation, there's only one law team to call, and that's the husband and wife law team, because they are part of the 1% of all Arizona bar certified lawyers specialized in injury and wrongful death litigation. And you have access to these attorneys at all times. You don't have to play the phone tag game, reaching Damon, reaching me, reaching Saul, trying to get to Shane. No, you can call your paralegal, schedule a time with your lawyer, and know that you will have the support that you need. So if you have had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841, or visit their website at the link in our show notes below and tell them the boys over at PHNX sent you over.
Let me tell you guys about another Valley staple, Kevin, and that is Don Julio Tequila returning to the Valley February 3rd through 8th, taking on the Waste Management Phoenix Open. I know that we're going to be out there at that Waste Management Phoenix Open, and Don Julio goes hand in hand with the WMO, Kevin, because we all know that it's time to party when you get out there on the grass. The most fun golf tournament in the country, and Don Julio is the perfect partner for such an event. They're offering a range of fun experiences and activities all week. First, the main attraction will be their setup at the Fairway House above the 12th hole, where you can get a margarita on draft, Kevin, on draft, and take a photo with that Don Julio truck, and even get a nice little complimentary water. Mix in a water while you're out there at the WMO. Shout out our friends at Don Julio for trying to keep us hydrated. Then you can go hit that 5th hole entrance located at the Fairmont, and get some more personalized samples and cocktails from Don Julio. So if you're planning on attending the tournament this year, make sure to visit our friends at Don Julio across the venue and tell them that PHNX sent you.
Shout out to Don Julio. Shout out to Branded Bills for presenting this episode of the AZ Wildcats podcast and presenting my forehead hider right here in this nice, very nice canvas hat from our friends over at Branded Bills. Speaking of gifts, speaking of stuff that you want to see under your tree, maybe stuffed into a stocking, Damon, it's the holiday season. Whether you celebrate Christmas, you celebrate something else, or you don't celebrate anything at all, me and Damon wanted to come to today's episode and bring you guys a wish list from each of us to Arizona Athletics. We got 5 things on each of our lists that we want under the tree, or maybe sent to our mailbox at a later date, from Arizona Athletics. Who wants to get it started? You or me, Damon?
I just want to throw out there that Kevin was trying to gatekeep my list a little bit, guys, right off the jump. Like, I came with the obvious right off the top. Like, gun to your head, what do you want from Arizona Athletics? You want the nets cut down, Kevin. And Kevin's walking in and he's being like, well, obviously we're not going to put nets cut. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's the one thing that was the whole reason I said, let's do this segment. So I could say I want a piece of damn, nylon.
Nylon!
I want some nylon in the mail, Kevin. That's what I want. Some polyethylene.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, that's a big word. That's
we're doing all the materials that are involved. I need some nets cut down, and I need just a small little piece of net in a stocking, Kevin. That's what I need.
You can do that thing where you put it, like you turn your hat backwards and you put it right there in the back. And, oh, man,
I've never wanted to do anything more than exactly that. That actually, like, no joke, that would be like there's no coming up from that moment, going up from that moment.
It's life is downhill from there, brother.
Somehow, like, we did like an interview with Tommy. Like, we got our Tommy interview and he like walked on set and he was like, fellas, I got you a couple things. And it's just a rope from when we cut down the nets.
Wow.
Like, I'd be like, that's it. This is the last episode of the AZ Wildcats podcast.
I mean, that's it. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's all downhill from there. It's all downhill from there, Damon. Why don't we just continue on your part of the list?
Sure, let's do it.
Cutting down the nets. What else?
I want a Caleb Holt commitment. I'm throwing that in there in accordance with today's show. Give me 5-star Caleb Holt under my Christmas tree here, and let's get it rocking in Tucson. Let's start building together next year's roster and feeling good about it, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Holt commitment would be a beautiful. Is that a stocking stuffer or is that going under the tree? I think it's hard to fit a 5-star in a stocking. 1,000%.
That's under the tree more.
That's got to be under the tree. You're getting a 5-star 6'5" combo guard.
Like fetal position.
Dude,
like, it's going to be tough.
6'5" ain't fitting in a stocking.
It's tough. It's going to be tough.
That's crazy.
Moving forward here, I'm doing a Rocky Beers Arizona jersey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I want beers on the back. I'm trying to think of what number. Maybe Gronk's number would be sick.
Come on.
Imagine
69 is the number.
Yeah, but I don't think he can do that as a tight end.
Oh, is that like okay.
Yeah.
See, the NFL got me all messed up when they got rid of the numbers rules and anybody could just be any number. Now I'm just thinking it's a free country.
I just don't think you can be a pass catcher at that position, but I could be wrong. I just want a U of A jersey that says beers on the back, my guy. And to expand upon that, we have such a need at tight end. He had 7 touchdowns this year. Colorado State is, in fact, tight end U. People are calling it. Trey McBride, Rocky Beers. I mean, come on.
What?
It speaks for itself right there. And I would love to see Rocky Beers in an Arizona uniform.
I would too. And I would also like to see Jeff Sims in an ASU uniform, just like you, with your fourth one, Damon.
He did not get a long enough of a runway, Kevin, to prove the type of player that he is at the college level. I think we can all see that. It's clear as day. And as Kenny would say, like, he's Sunday Sims. Levitt out the door, right? And who better to, keep the keys of this program than the guy that we entrusted with the keys after Levitt went down, the guy who propelled you to an 8-4 record despite no one believing in him. Jeff Sims in his 7th year of college. We need it like we need oxygen to breathe.
I mean, that's not only a gift for you, that's a gift for everybody in this chat. I mean, I think you went very selfless with your gifts. Oh, and every single one of these is not about you.
Last one, Kevin. I mean, let's just do it. Extend Bobby F. and Hurley. Extend my GOAT. I mean, have you seen this roster he put together, Kevin? We were talking about it last night after the show.
We were.
Bobby Hurley was a dead man walking at Arizona State. Going into his final year of his deal, we've talked about it with like Adia Barnes, right? Like when you have 1 year left on your deal, you know how hard it is to recruit and get players to buy into what you're selling? And you know what Bobby effing Hurley went out there and did, Kevin? He got Mo Odom, stud point guard.
The modem, man.
Modem.
Connects the whole team.
Stud point guard. Epitome. Mr. Epitome himself.
That's crazy. Jewelry.
You got Pig Glizzy.
Wow.
Right?
That's special, yeah.
Pig Johnson. And you got Mo Masamba Diop. No one knew who he was out of Las Palmas in the 2nd division until Bobby nabbed him and said, look at this absolute specimen. Extend Bobby M. effing Hurley, Kevin. That's all I care about this Christmas season.
Yo, I mean, that. How do I follow that up? I'm going up after Bon Jovi with my little folk act. That's not gonna work. But this is my wish list. I need that Surfing Snowman T-shirt that we talked about a couple weeks ago when they announced the Holiday Bowl. That little swaggy snowman looks incredible, and I need it on the left breast of a T-shirt.
Pocket tee, comfort colors, man. Something nice.
A quarter zip with just like a little embroidered. I mean, hey, with a little embroidered turnover sword, you can look swaggy too. That's neither here nor there. But I do need not only the Surfing Snowman T-shirt. I need everybody. PSA, public service announcement. Everybody needs to buy a Redline T-shirt. Literally everyone needs to buy this T-shirt. If you have not bought this T-shirt, this is the best-selling T-shirt of PHNX's 2025. That's a fact. We did this. You see all this? None of this existed before me and Damon. We built the Redline T-shirt. We built it. That's a little Drake reference. I wasn't actually getting all crazy on you guys. But I will say this, though. Like this shirt, me and Damon, from the bottom of our hearts, thankful to everybody that bought the shirt, that posted the shirt, got the word out for us. If you have not gotten it, I have 2. I did my part. I got 2. It's comfy. It's beautiful. The quality is there as well. The design is there. The thoughtfulness of the design, a little dead sparky there at the top is beautiful. I mean, that's just a beautiful body right there. Look at that thing. So get the Turnover T-shirt right now. The link is at gophnx.com under the merch tab. Once you go there, all collegiate merch, you can find it from there. I have confidence in you. Continuing on my list. We need a Tommy Lloyd interview, man. Golly, we need a Tommy Lloyd interview, man. This guy, Tommy Lloyd, needs to come on this podcast. Danny Gonzalez said it pretty much yesterday. Kind of. He said, we need more assistant coaches in front of microphones on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Once you run out of assistant coaches, Tommy? And Damon, this is kind of...
Who's left to talk to, Kevin?
Tommy. DJ. Tommy. This is something you and I talked about off air, Damon, but I think it'd be a funny conversation to at least have for about 10 seconds on this podcast. There's a world where Tommy Lloyd, despite his assistant coaches having been on the podcast and despite us having all of his players on the podcast this season, there's a world where he takes in no media unless he's like in it and has no idea we exist. So how can we get in front of Tommy Lloyd's desk is my question to you. What do we need to do to make my Christmas wish come true?
Man. I wish there was some sort of way that like we could be like, well, we'll make the Final Four and then he'll come on. But it's like that would almost be him doing two things. You know what I mean? We're not really doing anything in that. We're not pulling any weight in that scenario.
I got to make the stream. I got to make the thumbnail. I got to come up with questions. I got to get a haircut. That's a lot, Damon. It's a lot. But yeah, it is going to be, he's our white whale. So Tommy Lloyd, if you're in this chat, come on the show. Come on the show. We will not bite. We need a Holiday Bowl victory real bad. The 10-win season under Brent Brennan?
2 for Noah Fafita.
I'll remember it for life.
Need it.
I need it bad. And then to wrap it up, a la Damon's list with Rocky Beers in an Arizona jersey, I need a fun transfer portal wide receiver or tight end.
Or both.
Or both.
Preferably both.
Why not have them both?
I think Porque no los dos. I think that we need a wide receiver 1 and a tight end that is going to step in and be the starter next year. There's not a whole lot of, like opportunity from a pass catching standpoint that is going to be on this next year's roster, especially with Trey Spivey, Chris Hunter, Isaiah Mizell, Gio Richardson, all hypothetically coming back, right? But I do think you have a spot for one kind of upper echelon guy to step in there and kind of play the Chris Hudson role that we saw at the back end of this season for Noah Fafita. And then from a tight end standpoint, I just want a dude who is, and shout out Cameron Barmore, he's gotten a lot better over the course of this season, but I want someone that I feel comfortable with being the starter from game 1 to game 12 this season, because it wasn't Sam Olsen. We were projecting with Kean Burnett, even though we had high expectations. I do think Tyler Powell could be pretty damn good still, and he should hypothetically be back next season, but I definitely want a starting caliber tight end as well. Both of those.
Yeah. So there you have it. Inject both these lists into our veins. Damon
I was maybe going to say like a 6-pack via one Becky Burke or something like that. Like coach getting me in good shape. But again, that, now I'm having to like, how does that happen overnight? You know what I mean?
It doesn't. I mean,
maybe Coach Burke could get us like some dumbbells or something, like a good little workout set that we could use.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? But what I do know is that everybody that has been in this stream today, happy holidays. Thank you. We are thankful not only for you guys tapping in today, but for the entire year. Spoiler alert, we are remote on Friday. No shows tomorrow. No shows Christmas Day. We're back on Friday from the comfort of our homes. And look, Damon and I, we did get the shout out from Coach Gonzalez, and I think it was nice timing that we got that shout out, because we're coming up on a year since Damon and I started doing this podcast together. It was December 26th, Boxing Day, I think, last year.
Wow.
Boxing Day last year. So we're going to be doing a show on Friday on the 1-year anniversary of these two boys taking over the AZ Wildcats podcast and entering into Arizona media. So very thankful for everybody that has been so supportive along this journey for me and Damon. We are only going to continue to get better. We're only going to continue to work harder. And that is our promise. We do have some super chats to get to.
This is not a finished product, in other words, Kevin.
No.
Obviously me and Kevin have, this has been a dream and a goal of ours, I think, covering U of A in this capacity, doing a podcast or something similar to this. But it has been a steep learning curve. We were kind of thrown into the deep end, and I feel like, we still have so much room for growth between the two of us, and really excited about what the future holds for this podcast as well. And as Kevin said, would genuinely not be possible without the support of all the people here in the chat. 70 strong the day before Christmas Eve on a Christmas Eve Junior, Kevin. Unreal stuff. Another, thing that's unreal here, June Thomas, Kevin's mom, coming in. So excited for you guys. And PHNX, $20. Thank you so much, June.
I done told her. I need a cut.
Kevin wants that to happen in the form of a Venmo, but June, I appreciate the $20 super chat all the same, even if Kevin doesn't. And June just got her turnover sword T-shirt. Kevin,
true,
came in the mail. And did you? I have another update as well. My mother just texted me her turnover sword T-shirt this morning and said, "Got it." So we keep running it up. We keep running it up, Kevin, as this becomes, continues to be the highest selling T-shirt at PHNX Sports this year. And Kevin and I are so humble to say that.
Yeah, and we're going to keep
just the most humble podcast in existence.
Get used to hearing us say buy that shirt because it's going to be going on for some time now. AZ Cat Dan with the $5 super chat, thank you so much, says, if I don't watch you guys before Christmas, I want to wish the AZ Wildcats podcast a very Merry Christmas and let you guys know you're the best, BTFD. Man, that goes right into my heart, AZ Cat Dan. That feels really good. Very Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. I hope you're having a great holiday time.
Thank you, AZ Cat Dan.
AZ Cats G. We got all types of AZ Cats in this chat. AZ Cats G, classic buzzer beater fashion. So proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Goat.
We would not be able to keep doing this if not for people like you who've been watching the whole time, super chatting the whole time.
Keeping the lights on.
Literally. Keeping the likes up and the likes on. You know what I'm saying? Sapo King, 3937. $20, and it's not from my mother. Difference from past years to this is our bench has been so good to us. When we are down, the tempo changes once our bench comes in. Awaka's rebounding, putbacks, Del Orso's 3 points, steals, layups, Aristode's 3 points, change, momentum. 3 points, momentum, change, love.
Saying, I love it.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Ran out of space.
Agreed.
I mean, you look at the bench guys. I think Tobe Awaka is just, he obviously is starter caliber. He could be a starter.
Anywhere else.
It really is essentially a even split, 50-50 in the center rotation. So that alone is like having a sixth starter. Del Orso started last year and has only improved his game tenfold. And just has such a high floor from a scoring standpoint. Like it feels like from a scoring standpoint, like he is just a guy who just literally is going to give you double digits every night because he has so many different ways he can beat you, especially now with his improved dribbling and passing. And yeah, Aristote as well. Like he's almost the wild card of sense of he's going to just chuck up threes. Maybe he hits 4 of them in a game and it kind of just breaks the game open. But AZ Cats, geez.
He's not done. He's not done giving. It's the holiday season, season of giving. 5 gifted sports PHNX memberships.
You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. We all get memberships because AZ Cats G is the GOAT. So
That's
shout
incredible.
out Joel. Shout out Benjamin. Shout out Michael. Shout out Zenith. Shout out Corey. Y'all all got memberships. You know what I love about this too, Kevin?
What?
It's a lot of people that are lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that are watching the show clearly, but they're not necessarily in the chat as much. And now, guys, you get free memberships, free ability to use those emojis, those special emojis that we've made here at PHNX Sports in the chat. And you get to check it out for yourself. Dip your toe in. Water's fine here in the chat.
We don't bite. We do not bite. But
shout out AZ Cats G.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
crazy.
man. That was awesome.
Super chat and gifted memberships. You are really in the season of giving mood. Damon, shout out to everybody listening to this podcast today. I think that's all we got for now, right?
I think so, man. Also, real quick, did just have a couple extra little updates here. Trayden Stukes has accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. He'll be playing in the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. Great opportunity for Trayden Stukes, kind of the premier all-star bowl game for seniors and players that are draft eligible. And then Dalton Johnson is going to the other one that is of note, which is the East-West Shrine Bowl. And he just committed to that today. So good opportunities for Dalton Johnson and Trayden Stukes to prove that they belong at the NFL level, especially after such phenomenal senior seasons that they had at Arizona. Two guys that maybe necessarily weren't considered to be NFL prospects going into this year, but I think they played so well that they've earned that opportunity to go out on the football field and show that they are that caliber of player. Great to see for two guys that are the ultimate Wildcats, Kevin.
Definitely, especially with Dalton Johnson, who's been through it all and willingly went through it all. He had many options, many opportunities to not have to go through all the stuff he went through, and he still chose to do it. And I think it's one of those situations where not everybody's story is the same. Not everybody's outcome is the same. Sometimes you make choices, you end up regretting those choices. But I think a guy like Dalton Johnson, I'm not going to speak for him as to whether or not he regrets or would do anything over again. But it certainly feels like all the trials, all the tribulations only made the wins that much sweeter for him in an Arizona Wildcats uniform. So congratulations to him for the Shrine Bowl. Congratulations to Stooks for the Senior Bowl. Love seeing our boys ball out, Damon.
Of course. No doubt about it. And two guys that are just they've stuck it out through thick and thin in this program, seen the highs, seen the lows. They deserve absolutely those opportunities. If you guys received a membership, drop some of those emojis in the chat here. Show off your newfound ability to get in with the chat and be one of the premier members of this chat. Of course, it is now bleeding into the holidays here. Kevin and I are so thankful for each and every one of you making this show possible, making this chat so much more lively, helping with discussion. It means the world to both of us. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. You can follow me at Damon Dog. You can follow him at Kevo Post. You can follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all socials except for TikTok, where we're at AZ Wildcats Pod. And I want to spend this time to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hope that you guys and your families are able to enjoy this time off together. And we'll catch you back on a Friday at 2 p.m. Kevin and I are going to be going live at 2 p.m. I'll be in the greatest city on earth, Tucson, Arizona. Kevin will be up here in the valley, and we'll be giving you a 2 p.m. AZ Wildcats pod. So be there for that one and lead up to Arizona's matchup versus South Dakota State next Monday, a Holiday Bowl matchup on the horizon as well. We're going to be talking it all on the AZ Wildcats pod for Kevin, for me, for everybody here at PHNX Sports. Appreciate all of you. Have a happy holidays, and we'll catch you next time on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Until then, peace out. Bear down.
And go Cats. Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays, Wildcat fans.
We all silly like the mayor.